Hi, Pasha. Welcome to the Wire Life podcast. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Rosie.
I'm very excited. So tell us a little bit about you, how you got started in the real estate industry.
I would say a year ago, I had no idea that it really was an industry. I think I thought it was for people who had deep pockets and had play money that they could just buy houses. So I have been in corporate for nearly 25 years, and I had just to be honest, I was just not, it wasn't a mentally healthy place for me anymore. And I think that's the awakening a lot of us probably have had during COVID, is just reassess our values. So I always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I just didn't know what it would be I feel very comfortable taking risk and following a passion. I just didn't know really how to articulate it. So I was kind of in the space where I took a break and was just taking a leave of absence and really finding myself again. And it's funny, the universe definitely gives you gifts when you are open to it. And that's how I came across Teresa's program.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. So now tell us about a challenge. Well, I mean, you were just talking about going through that life-changing event. Is that kind of like just what switched everything around and you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to focus all of my effort, that event in your life, like, the corporate life or whatever you were going through personally, that awakening, like how you call it's what triggered the whole thing. So what are you, I mean, how did you start? What are you doing? What strategy are you using?
Well, I think it's the journey has been evolving, and I am not always full of answers. And I think when I started a year ago, I didn't have the answers. It just felt right. And I think we all know when something feels right, you just have this really, I think, calmness and confidence. And even though you don't know where the path is going, you know you're on the right one. And I think that's what just happened, because I wasn't over analyzing things. I wasn't like, should I do this? Shouldn't I do it? It was always like, I am doing this and I'll figure it out. And it just has evolved. But I think it just was that really grounded feeling that I had to knowing that I was on the right path. So I know it kind of maybe sounds woo, but it was this really kind of confidence that kept me just pursuing this journey.
I love it. So what was your first deal? What did you end up doing when you started?
I would say, I mean, I'm probably like a lot of people. I was on the sidelines, and just I felt like I had to learn because it was such a different industry and vernacular. I definitely, even though I was like trusting the experience, I still had this like, am I ready? It's just, it felt right, but I wasn't sure I was ready. So, and I had a bit of the imposter syndrome. So my first deal was, I heard this great quote of just like start making offers, challenge yourself to make 5 offers a week. And I was like, what's the worst that can happen? I was just, honestly, I was looking at deals off of MLS and analyzing them. And I had a realtor, which she was very investor friendly. And I just said, I don't want to like put you in a comfortable position, but I want to make aggressive offers. And are you willing to do this with me? And she's like, absolutely. So just started, getting comfortable with analyzing deals and just throwing out offers. And within the first month, 2 stuck.
Awesome. Very nice. And what area, where are you, where do you have your properties?
I'm in Portland, Oregon. The name of my business is Pacific Northwest, because Home Buying, Pacific Northwest Home Buying. And I'm grounded here. It's my home. And so I really focus on the Pacific Northwest with specific focus on Oregon. My properties they're in Portland Metro. And then I have another property in Bend, Oregon. So definitely focus on Oregon, but I'd like to expand to the Pacific Northwest, up in Washington, Idaho, things like that.
Beautiful. And with these properties, did you end up like keeping them for rentals, or did you fix and flip any of them, or how?
Yeah, it's crazy because I literally got 3 deals within a month, and I should 2 came off of MLS, like the offers I said, and I also sent a postcard campaign, and I used PropStream to create the mailing list and also send the postcard campaign. And but I did the creative and did the writing. I worked with somebody that's like, she was in marketing, and so we were able to really have a tailored postcard. So I got 1 off of there. So I had 3 properties really right out of the gate. And I forgot what your question was.
If you had kept them as rentals or fixed.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, so 2, the first 2 I am flipping, and they actually are on the market. One is now, and the other one will be at the end of this month. And then my duplex, which I got off the postcard campaign, was really, I'm very proud of, because it was the one I negotiated and wrote up the contract, and it came off of my mailing. And I got that duplex and held it and did some added value, got it rented pretty quickly. And actually, I just decided that I'm gonna sell it, because my goal is to get into multifamily. And because I bought it at such a good time, the equity is through the roof. So I'm gonna just sell it and then use it as a down payment on a multifamily, hopefully 10 plus units in the next couple months.
Oh, I love those goals. Amazing. Good for you. And congratulations on your flips, on everything that you've done.
Thanks.
So you've answered a lot of my future questions already with this one question.
Off on tangent, sorry.
That's okay. So how did you
color?
That's all right. So how did you fund these first couple deals? Is it like hard money, private money, or you got deep pockets? What's going on?
Oh, not that. Yeah, I definitely implemented a lot of different funding strategies. So obviously, I didn't even know what a hard money lender was, or private money lender. And that's what's so great about Teresa's program. It's just, it gives you such a strong foundation, and then you can build on your education. I did my 2 flips. One was a hard money lender and a private money lender. And then actually somebody from the Ream group funded 100% one of my other flips. So it just, the objective was to have first lien position and not second lien position to a hard money lender. So she went all in with me and partnered with me on a second flip. And then my duplex, I actually leveraged my self-directed IRA, which was a whole nother education in itself that I didn't know existed. So
I have heard that. That's a whole process.
Yeah. It's fun to see your money work rather than sit in some mutual funds that you have no idea who's managing. So it's kind of fun to manage your own money and actually get a way better return on it.
Thank you for sharing that. So if you could start all over again, would you have done exactly the same strategies that you've done, or is there anything different that you would have done at the beginning?
I think I would have got in the game faster. I think I felt like I had to know a lot. And actually it's really, I always say there's kind of the theory, the book knowledge, and then there's the practical knowledge, and they don't always match. So I felt my learning really accelerated tremendously when I got in the game, and I wish I would have gone in it sooner. I know I was a little bit like healing and taking care of myself, like getting myself in a better mental place. But yeah, I really, really, really admire the women who are making deals the first month and 2. Good for you, because I think that's exactly like the way to learn and accelerate and scale.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I find that to be very brave. I'm also like, a little bit type A, and I want to know and then jump in. So this helps And for me, it's a great motivator also. This year, I want to go into fixing and flipping. So your words are very inspiring for me. Okay. And then for somebody starting off, what would you recommend? Kind of like start off like with a base knowledge, kind of like the mentorship we went to, and then take action type of thing? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think, building on the last question, I think it's like this, that notion of perfectionism doesn't exist, and education never stops. I mean, I think that's why I'm so energized being in real estate, because there's so many different spokes, and you can really flex, where your strengths are, interests are, and find that right strategy. Like I actually am learning that flipping is really not speaking to me at a level that I thought it would, because I don't like project management, and I love making beautiful homes, but I'm really, because I've been in corporate for so long, I like building businesses. I am comfortable with numbers, analyzing deals. So it makes you realize, I think it's like whatever path, it's going to expose your strengths and lean into that, because your strengths are really going to be utilized in whatever capacity in this industry, because it is so diverse and there's so many different strategies that you don't have to be pigeonholed, and you can be really celebrated for what you bring to this industry. So if you like the creative side, and do the STRs, oh my God, all day long, make them beautiful homes, and somebody else will fund it. If you like networking, go, you're going to be great at raising capital. If you like just analyzing deals, and you're going to be a great underwriter. So like, I would just say, don't shut the door and think you're not good enough, because there's a door open for everybody.
Oh, thank you. That's very, very inspiring. Now, how do you keep, I mean, you seem very driven, which is awesome. I mean, I'm sure there's work behind doors that has gotten you to where you are today, but how do you keep yourself accountable with all of these projects going on at the same time, and being new into real estate?
Yeah, I mean, in full transparency, it's a lot. And I don't want to like say, oh, like I got it all, like all balls in the air. Absolutely not. It just happened that 4 flips are just converging and funneling and all like coming together. I just take it one day at a time, and okay, like I said, if something falls through the cracks, it falls through the cracks. But I'm also fortunate because I have some amazing partners with Annette and Shona on my properties. And that's when you just like, it's a partnership, you just like, you have to lean on each other and divide and conquer. And that sets up you for success, and everybody up for success. So, and to answer your question, do I seem driven? I think I'm come off driven, because I think I'm just gotten so clear on my values of wanting to have family time and freedom and flexibility, that motivates me to be successful in this space, because I realize my kind of old identity in corporate life did not marry with my values. So I think that's why I'm driven, and because I'm so I'm living my values. So
Lovely, love it. So a little bit more on the personal side, if we may, how do you like spiritually, mentally, physically, what are certain things that you do to kind of keep you grounded and moving forward with those same values and that same vision, right?
yeah, I don't think that's a great question, because being an entrepreneur there's no off switch. And I mean, when you work a corporate job or whatever, you're W-2, I'm not saying for anybody, but you have weekends, right? You can turn it off. You can be on from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. And I mean, I can definitely slide into that if I'm not conscious of it. So it's really, I make an effort not to grab my phone first thing in the morning. I separate myself from my phone at night, and definitely like decompress, do reading, make sure there's family time at dinner. I've made a commitment to my family. We're big skiers. We are in the mountains every weekend. And I really am conscious, like, yeah, I'll take a phone call here and there, but I could see my weekend just getting snatched up. but I keep going back to my values. Like I want a flexibility. I want to be able to spend time with my kids. And so those are motivating me to not be so hamstrung to this business. Cause it really can. And it's not because I'm not ambitious or goal oriented. It actually makes me better when I have, I'm recharging during those moments. So.
Absolutely. And it's not one of the questions I had, but I want to ask you out of curiosity, if it's okay. Did you create a vision board for this year?
I would say loosely, Shonen and I, we're meeting tomorrow morning to really, craft that and make it more defined. I have some loose goals. She has some loose goals. We have very clear, I would say, financial objectives that are tied to strategies. I think it's really important when you partner with somebody to really have that alignment of values and vision and mission from the beginning. Because if you don't, I think, you go off in separate ways. And I think it's harder to pull it back, under one roof when you haven't had those hard conversations at the beginning. So we are very aware of that, not to get sucked up into the daily stuff and to have strategy meetings. So in terms of vision board, I would say it's not visual, but it's definitely outlined and laid out.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So, I mean, you've already touched on what you kind of like to do for fun, so I'm not going to get any farther into that. Thank you for sharing. I think deep inside, right, we're all looking for some sort of balance in our life. So thank you. And I mean, you're truly an example as to the way that you're trying to manage all of that, and especially in real estate, and like you said, being an entrepreneur. So what would you consider to be like one of your superpowers if you had to pick something? I mean, you sound amazing. You have a lot of them. What would you pick?
I would say, and I think I just come to realize this, maybe is, I love inspiring people, and I don't think I've been that intentional about it. But I would say that is a superpower of, I just get that feedback a lot, and I don't think I recognize that. And I just believe in people's ability and strengths and see their superpowers, that I love to celebrate it. So, yeah, I just think it's helping people and inspiring people is what really is feeds my soul.
Well, let me tell you, whoever listens to this podcast, I'm sure is going to feel very inspired. I'm inspired. I'm ready. I was tired when I first logged on. As you know, I had just gotten off a 2-hour meeting.
I know, it's exhausting. And Zoom sucks you dry. It does, yeah.
And then now I have all this energy, which I didn't. Now I don't know what I'm going to do. I was going to go to bed after this, so I might have to go for a walk or something.
Thank you. Oh, well, I'm energized by you, and it's been you've been so patient, and I apologize for us not getting in touch sooner, but I feel so honored that you've asked me to talk about this, because I could talk about real estate all day long, and I think that to me is a huge validation that I found my purpose and the right lane that I was looking for.
Thank you so much. And then, is there any book or anything that you would like to recommend to the audience that have served you well, whether you want it to be personal, business, or however?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I'll expand on that a little bit. Like, the education that we get from REEN is phenomenal, but don't stop educating yourself, because especially if you have an interest in one area, like I'm really interested in multifamily and short-term rentals. Like obviously REEN does a great job at introducing those concepts, but keep learning, talk to people. So I'm constantly listening to podcasts. I'm a huge fan of Bigger Pockets. I listen to Invest Her. I also, and for me, like game-changing book was Rich Dad Poor Dad. I am that generation who believes like you work for your money, and there's a threshold to your time, which is your resource of how you get paid for. So it really has been a lot of different things that have influenced me, but I would just say, continue to educate yourself.
Okay, thank you so much. So okay, now we always love to leave the audience with a challenge to kind of like wrap things up. Is there anything that comes up to your mind that you may want to challenge them with?
Yes. I would say if you're having a hard time getting the game, just make an offer. I mean, and don't be scared to use realtors. Like realtors are a great resource. And I always call them the training wheels to investing because they can really help you with the contracts and negotiation and the scary stuff, which maybe prevents us from jumping in. But these, and I know MLS is not always home runs, but there are distressed sellers on MLS. Like I bought mine from a tired investor. I bought mine from a trustee. They just had a realtor involved. And for the ability to have somebody coach me in a real life example gave me a ton of confidence. So just challenge yourself to make offers. 5 a week, girls, 5 a week.
All
And
right,
you'll get them.
I'm gonna jump on that. I'm gonna jump on that as well.
It's easier than you think. It really is. And you're already watching deals. I know all of you are on MLS. I know it because I am. You're on Zillow, you're on Redfin. So if you see something that looks distressed, you never know somebody's motivation, you know. Also look at Zillow they have for sale by owners. There's a reason they're not going to a realtor. I actually found one deal through for sale by owners. So like, I think we try to put these really, big goals of like, oh, it has to be off market, and which it should, which we eventually want to get to, but there's still a lot of deals out there. And if anything, it gives you confidence then once you start making offers, because that feels real and it's fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So how can our audience find you? Any contact information you want to leave?
Text me. No, you can text me. I'll throw out my number 503-349-1741. I'll respond to all texts. I'm a little bit old school that way, or follow me. I'm very active on Instagram, probably the most at PNW_Pascha, PASCHA. And then Facebook, just my name, Pascha Naderi-Nejad. But I would say in that order. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing all this wonderful information with me, with the audience, with everybody. It really was an honor to have you. Thank you so much.
It was an honor being on here, and you're crushing it. Way to like step out and really also inspiring me. I think, starting a podcast, that's really shows.
Do it. Reach out to me. I'll give you all, my team and all the stuff, and feel free.
Yeah, would love to get some ideas and coaching on that.
All right, sounds good.
Hey, have a good evening, Rosie.
Bye.